I'm still trying to work out the kinks in the teleporter, everyone. Bear with me. Oh, I forgot something. We couldn't have a celebration without balloons because we just hit 10,000 subscribers here on my YouTube channel. Actually, on my birthday last week. So I wanted to say thank you so much for allowing me to continue to follow my dreams. I wouldn't be here without you. So to celebrate, I wanted to answer some questions that you all asked me here on my YouTube community page and on my Instagram. You can call me phoebzorphoebe. I'm a gamer and artist here on YouTube. Let's go ahead and dive on in to your questions. Let's start with which game has your favorite lore. Now, I think you all know what rabbit hole of lore I have dived into this year, which has actually led to the growth that I've seen on my channel lately. Poppy Playtime. Of all the video games I have played here on my channel, Poppy Playtime has got to be my favorite lore or my favorite story that has kind of sucked me in to discovering and has made me the most curious about where the story might be heading. You already hit 10K, so congratulations. Thank you. And my question is, what was your favorite TV show as a kid? Oh my gosh, I could go on and on. Still to this day, I watch cartoons. I actually got my college degree in art and I used to be an art teacher. So you will always catch me watching cartoons as like my comfort shows. Here are three of my other comfort characters from live action TVs and film. And if that doesn't say much about me, I don't know what else does. What age is a kid? Because I feel like it evolved throughout my childhood at what TV shows I loved. Top three games or gaming series from my childhood, without a doubt, Spyro the Dragon, Kirby, any of the Kirby games that I could get my hands on, and then Crash Bandicoot. I probably played Spyro and Crash the most out of those three, but Kirby was my first ever game I played. Let me think about some of my favorite TV shows, and I could make a whole video about TV shows that I've loved and watched. Whole video on that alone. But if we're going like really young, like the ages 3, 4, 5, I feel like the top three that came to my head were like Dragon Tales, SpongeBob SquarePants, and Dora the Explorer. I watched a lot when I was like really young. As the years went by, I really enjoyed things like Danny Phantom, Phineas and Ferb, Jimmy Neutron. Like, I was all over the board. What is your favorite game and your favorite character in that game? Definitely Spyro the Dragon. Spyro, like I said earlier, was the game that I played the most in my childhood. So it is just like definitely my comfort game. The world and the design of that game, even when I originally played the PS1 versions, were so beautiful to me, so colorful. It is still my comfort game to this day, Spyro the Dragon, any of the original three Spyro the Dragon. Do you like waffles? Yes, actually, when I was a kid, anyone who said they liked pancakes over waffles, I would throw a fit, like jokingly, but I'd be like, that's lame. Waffles are so much better. You can have the syrup and all the holes. It is so much better, all right? Now, as an adult, it's funny because while I'm doing YouTube, I actually serve at a brunch place on the weekends, and I like some of our pancakes better than I like our waffles, but it's just that place, okay? All right? We have specialty pancakes. They're so good. My inner child would be screaming at me that I now prefer pancakes when I go to brunch over waffles just because of all the additions and fun pancakes there have been in my life as an adult. So we're not going to get into that because it ruins my inner child's heart, okay? Do you remember 2021 in art class? That's a very vague question, but probably. Are you a previous student of mine? Probably. Hello. Goodbye. Rude. Okay. It's Peepo here asked, what's your dream YouTuber collab? Peepo, it was with you when we did our Escape the Backroom series. More videos coming, by the way. Also, I just wanted to take a minute to say I have already done 3 or 4 collaborations on my YouTube channel that I am so thankful for. If you have not checked out Peepo and I's gaming series with the Escape the Backrooms, please go check it out. They're a lot of fun. And like I said, more of those videos are on the way. I have to actually sit down and edit them because editing takes hours and 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 hours. But I'm not sure of a dream YouTuber collab. I'd like to maybe go on a lot of like podcasts in the future. My husband Gavin and I have been watching a lot of Smosh content over the past year. So I was like, maybe one day I could go on the Smoshcast or be on a Smosh Reddit reading episode or be on a Try Not to Laugh But honestly, I'm just so thankful for the collaborations I have been able to do. Pipo with our Escape the Backroom series, Planet Jupiter and Alien with Lethal Company, and then Gavin, my husband, we actually started this YouTube channel together. So there are actually a lot of older videos on the channel that are my husband and I playing video games together. And this question kind of segues into the next question. Who's your favorite YouTuber? I think this question is very similar to the question about what my favorite TV show as a kid was, because I feel like there are like seasons of YouTube creators that I just binge their content. Probably top favorite YouTuber is Markiplier right now. He's been the one that I've most consistently watched. But I have watched a ton of other like larger creators, as well as being able to collaborate with other YouTubers closer to my size, which I'm thankful for. So here's a list of some of my favorite YouTubers. If you have any other YouTuber recommendations based off of the list over here, let me know, because I'm always down to find cool new YouTubers. Yeah, big weenie stretch. Hi, Zelda. Hi, babe. This is Zelda. She just woke up from a nap. For those of you who do not know, my husband and I don't have children. We have fur babies. So this is Zelda. We have an elderly pug named Mayonnaise, Manny for short. And then we have 3 cats that are little mischievous babies. Little mischievous babies. All right, Weenie, I'll put you down. All right, we're answering more questions. Ivory just hopped up into my lap. This is Ivory. She's a beautiful, saucy lady. Don't bite it. Okay. I'm glad I got that on camera, because sometimes, if you've noticed, this little, she accidentally got locked in here one day, or not locked. She accidentally got shut in this room one day, and she tore this protection off my microphone, and you can see there's little bite marks in it from her. That's Ivory. Yeah, that's her fault, but she's a cutie. All right, bye. You just had to bite my microphone again. It's fine. Whatever. Okay, this light is driving me nuts. Why? Why? Are we good? Or not? Another question. What really inspired you to do YouTube? My 13-year-old self. Without a doubt. I was an only child growing up, very sheltered with my knowledge of the world. And then one day in middle school, my parents went from having one of those old desktops that would take 30 minutes to load anything to they got their first laptop and they brought it home. And sometimes I was able to get on YouTube downstairs in my bedroom in the basement, and I would just watch YouTube videos in middle school for hours, and it kind of scarred me and ruined me, and it showed me a lot of the world and a lot of awful things that you know, most middle schoolers find on the internet. But yeah, my 13-year-old self, I watched a lot of YouTube in middle school, and I literally I started making YouTube videos in middle school when I was consuming so much YouTube, to the point of where I saved up money, and I bought myself a little camcorder camera. I bought myself a tripod. I actually bought myself editing software that was like a box that I had to install on my parents' laptop at the time. And I literally made YouTube videos. I made sketch comedy YouTube videos with my friends in middle school. I made lyric videos on Windows Movie Maker before I got that editing software. Like, I was making videos in middle school. The pandemic hits. I graduated from college in December 2019. I start teaching art in January 2020. So I got a couple months of teaching normally before we went online, and the pandemic hits, everything shuts down. I'm teaching online. I'm not leaving the house ever. So my YouTube consumption started going up again, because I feel like from the age of 14 to 22, I didn't watch YouTube. Like, I was very much not on YouTube through high school and college. So as soon as the pandemic hit, I had a lot of free extra time, and I started watching YouTube again, and it kind of just started igniting that spark inside me again to pursue my dreams of creating videos. I don't do well when I'm not creating, whether it be physical art, digital art, through editing. I I think that it's just part of me. Like, I can't not create. I will always be creating something for me to keep me sane, honestly. Like, that's why I do it. Which leads into other questions of what really inspired me to do YouTube is myself and my need to create. And that leads us to the next question of how did you find the motivation to keep uploading when you were starting out? In a very big way, I still have that imposter syndrome of like, I feel like I'm still starting out, but I've realistically been doing this for 3 years. And it has been nothing but an uphill battle of learning. Like I said, with every single video I make, I learn something new about, whether it be editing YouTube's, learning something about myself, learning something about gaming, video creation in general, the digital social media space. Like, I learned something new. So keeping the motivation, honestly, I'm going to be really honest with you. Like, I'm a workaholic when it comes to creating my own art. I find a very hard balance when it comes to working my part-time job and then overworking on my days off from that part-time job here in YouTube. So I am constantly like burning myself out, which is not healthy. But whenever I'm not creating, whenever I'm not editing videos, creating art, like, I don't feel like Phoebe. I don't feel like me. So the motivation to keep uploading still to this day is going to be just my need to create. A lot of people, I feel like, get into YouTube or become an influencer just due to money, but honestly, it is just something deep within my being, my entire soul, whatever you want to say. Like, I am not happy, I am not mentally well when I am not giving myself an expressive or creative outlet. So honestly, just whatever ignites your passion, if I could give any advice, and making sure that you are creating what you want to create. I know with YouTube and the algorithm of all social media, it's really easy to get discouraged from the numbers and start making content based off of what has done really well in the past, or what you see may be doing well for other people. But I think that my number one piece of advice would be to, if you are a content creator, even if, you know, a certain type of video you've made is bringing in a ton of views and a ton of money, if you keep making those types of videos and you start burning yourself out on them and you don't want to make those anymore, I don't think you should. Now, it's easier said than done, of course, especially if you have sponsors and money coming in, but I genuinely think that you need to create what you want and the right people will come, and then you just need to keep learning and growing and evolving. But genuinely, the audience can tell when you're not happy. It's best to keep true to you. Keep creating the content you want to make. Keep creating the art you want to make. Like, that would be my number one piece of advice is life is short. To be honest and frank, I watched my dad die at 51. And that was the same year I left teaching and pursued YouTube full time. And I do not regret that at all, because I saw my dad die at 51, and 2 months later after he passed, I turned 25, and I thought to myself, I'm like, if I have already lived half of my life, if I'm lucky, right? Any of us can go at any day, but if I have already lived half my life, I want to spend the rest of my life happy and not stuck in a constant state of not living the life I want and not doing what I want. Very long answers to these questions, but that's who I am. Very, very loving, emotional, deep thinking person. Honestly, like I think too much sometimes, and that's okay. Malcolm asked on Instagram, if you could design the perfect game to play, what would be the story and gameplay? Be specific. You could design the perfect game to play. Well, let's see. It would be a third-person game. It wouldn't be a heavy focus on like shooting, because I'm not a big fan of like first-person shooter games. I'll play them, but it's just not my vibe. So maybe a third-person adventure game, because I was about to say like adventure horror game, and it could be like spooky and scary. I'd like to see that, but I'd definitely say like a third person adventure, maybe horror game with a lot of comedic relief. That would be the genre of the game and the perspective of the game. I feel like I've been able to play a lot of games in my YouTube journey that I would never have considered playing before starting YouTube. And that has really opened up my mind with, I don't know, just the type of games that I've played. I think that I know zero about game development. I have never developed a game. I give all my kudos to game developers because I know that is hard work. It is hard work. So I feel like it would have to have good pacing, good progression in the story. I've really enjoyed games like the 2013 Deadpool game. I really enjoyed that. I feel like that is more my ideal game from a gamer standpoint, although it is more like heavy weapon focused, but it is like, it has a lot of comedic relief because it's Deadpool, but you know, it's just like the pacing of it was really well made. The player, and like from a player's perspective, it was really fun to play as a player. I'm not sure if you all could make a video game. Let me know. What would be the perfect video game for you to play if you could make the video game? So like I said, I've been able to play so many games that I never thought I would have played, and I am just always down for a good story. I feel like any game I have to have has to have a good story, good progression. I've gone through a lot of sad stuff in my own life, so I'm not always excited to go towards the horror or sad things. Like for example, in my own life, I don't watch a lot of the mainstream animes because a lot of them can be really sad or filled with a lot of death. Same thing with horror movies. Like, I will play horror games, but I refuse to watch most horror movies. I don't know. I'm weird. That's why you're here. That's why you subscribed, because I'm weird, and that's fine. There's no judgment, but I'm weird. All right? All right. My friend Pops Arcade asked me, what's your favorite video you've made? Pops also asked on Instagram, what's my favorite art piece that I've ever made? For those of you who do not know, I actually make rugs. That has been my most recent medium I have been experimenting in and dabbling in over the past couple of years. Fiber art. I made that catnap wall hanging rug, and I've made other custom rugs. But favorite video? I feel, so here's what we're learning about Phoebe today in the 10K Q&A is that I just keep evolving as a person, and it's really hard for me to pinpoint favorites. So let me look at my channel real quick and figure out my favorite right now, because I've had favorites as my editing style has evolved and grown. So let me look right now. I guess we can start from the very beginning. Probably, okay. So obviously when you're starting out on YouTube, you don't know much about how YouTube works. You don't know much about editing, but the Human Fall Flat series was probably my first and longest favorite running series that I did with my husband Gavin, because of how goofy and chaotic we were. So definitely Human Fall Flat was awesome just because of our energy. The very first time I ever played a Five Nights at Freddy's games, I was terrified the first time that we played Poppy Playtime. Obviously, like any of the videos that I did with Gavin, my husband, I absolutely love and adore and cherish. I really enjoyed playing The Sims with my friend Haley. The very first 31 Days of Spooky Games that I did here on the channel with Gavin, I don't know. Even though the editing is trash in most of those because I was learning, they're some of my favorite videos because of how much fun I was genuinely having with Gavin, not only playing the games, but we were both learning how to edit together as well. So it was like a hobby and a connection that we started together. When I started taking over the channel, since Gavin and I did FNAF Security Breach together, I wanted to finish the game alone. It helped me conquer a lot of my fears with horror games, even though I know a lot of the consensus is that FNAF Security Breach isn't really scary compared to the others. It really got me over the line of like, okay, I can play scary games by myself. I can do this by myself. I'm really proud of this past year's 2023's 31 Days of Spooky Games. because they always just take me forever. But like I was able to play a lot of the games and edit a lot of the games. Really fun. So if you have not checked out my 31 Days of Spooky Games series, please do. It's a lot of fun and a lot of energy. So probably those are my top favorites. My 31 Days of Spooky Games series, any of the series where I collaborate with friends like Planet Jupiter with Lethal Company and Gavin, and then Escape the Backrooms with Peepo. I don't know. I'm just really thankful that I am pursuing this dream of mine, and I'm really thankful that you all are here supporting me. So I know that Pops, that was a lot of videos pertaining to your question on which is my favorite video I've made. But so far it's changed and it's ebbed and it's flowed. Right now I'm working on the kindergarten series, and with every single video I learn something new, and I'm super thankful for that. Probably the fondest memories are the memories of any of the scary games I played with Gavin, because that's where I started, you know? That's where I started with this whole YouTube journey. So now on to one of my favorite art pieces I've made. Oh, that's also hard, because as an art education major or becoming an art teacher, you don't necessarily master one art medium. You kind of take 2 or 3 classes of several art mediums. So a jack of all trades kind of thing, which is how I also feel that I live my life. I ebb and flow and change of what I'm hyper focusing on in that moment, whether it be printmaking. I was a printmaker for a long time. I considered myself a fibers artist when I started rug making. Now I feel like those are my 2 top favorite mediums, are printmaking and fibers art, when I'm not actually creating digital content, because I feel like editing is also like another creative outlet for me of art. These are some of the rugs that I've made. Oh, this one I was really proud of. Now looking at it, the rug is a little rough, but I was really proud of this Bo Burnham rug I made when I was first learning how to make rugs. I did bookbinding for a while. These were Gavin and I's thank you cards that I screen printed for our wedding. I was even part of like printmaking exchanges in college that I was really proud of. When I first went to college, I had to make a mixed media or alternate. I had to make an alternative like method of drawing, a drawing that wasn't a drawing. So I used my dad's cancer supplies at the time, because he had just been hospitalized shortly after they found his stage 4 cancer. My dad was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer in 2016. And a couple months after that, his colon actually ruptured. And I used a lot of his hospital supplies from that hospital stay to make this drawing of him, of my mom sitting by him in a hospital gurney. Now, like I said, this is when I first started college, so the overall composition of it is a little rough, but it definitely got me outside of my boundaries with what you can make art out of. It's a really hard piece for me to look at now since he's passed, but it's definitely one of the pieces that I remember the most. Profound art, yay. I create. I'm just thankful that I get to create in this life. I'm thankful that I get to follow my dreams, and I'm thankful I get to create with you also. Thank you. But I do want to say thank you everyone for these questions today. Thanks for sitting down and having this little conversation with me, this little get to know me. This still feels surreal. This still feels like imposter syndrome to me that we hit 10K and now I'm almost at 14K, and it's just going to keep going up because I'm not going to quit anytime soon. So thank you. And go follow your dreams any way you can, as long as they don't harm others. Like I feel like we always gotta say, don't harm others. Don't harm others in following your dreams. Don't screw other people over. All right. But for real, thank you so much for almost 14,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for spending any amount of time you do with me and my videos or any of the pieces of art I have made. I wouldn't be here without you. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.